So Body Media, kind of as our name suggests, is a technology-based company that is multi-sensor based, that helps people understand the lifestyle issues related to various healthcare, chronic healthcare issues. So today we focus on the overweight and obese population and help them understand their energy expenditure, the quality of their sleep, the efficiency of their sleep, how much vigorous and moderate activity they get. And we do it in a very seamless and personalized way based on the sensors that are built into our device, paired with a software application.
Yeah, and how exactly does the device work? What sort of measurements does it collect?
Sure. So we so through the sensors that we have, it's actually, I took mine off, but it's worn on the upper arm on a continuous basis. We're streaming about 5,000 data points a minute through these little sensors.
Wow.
Some really raw, kind of physiological based information that nobody cares about. We obviously have an accelerometer, but we also pick up the skin conductivity on a continuous basis, heat flux, which is the rate at which heat's dissipating from the body, and then skin temperature. And so we kind of put all those things together on a continuous basis. And like I said, we'll kind of translate that through machine learning and artificial intelligence into calories burned, energy expenditure, sleep efficiency. So not just, are you laying down from a motion perspective, we go beyond that and we understand physiologically that your body is shut down because some of the sensors that we have in our system actually, that your core and your physiological makeup changes as you go to sleep and fall asleep. So we're very physiologically based in that assessment. So it's kind of interesting. Very different technology. We've been around for about 13 years, and so we've been at it for a while.
And all of this data, does it get sent to the patient in some sort of report that they can understand?
Yeah, so the data is displayed either on a web portal on our site or on a mobile phone, smartphone, and they can scroll through it. They can look at their trends in their data. They can look at days they hit their targets, days they didn't. They can look at minute by minute, how did their day look. If they didn't sleep well, they can look at a profile of the night's sleep and look to see, was it just that they had a hard time falling asleep and then slow to wake up if their efficiency number was low, or was it a lot of disruptions throughout the night where, kind of their core started to kind of come back awake and there was a kind of getting to a certain level of awakeness. So, and then, we've got a number of partners where we can take that data, port it into physicians' offices, nutritionists, personal trainers, counselors, weight loss counselors, health coaches and health plans and things like that. So the data then gets integrated to really kind of have a different conversation now between a medical professional and a consumer/patient.
Right, yeah, that's what I was wondering. If a patient needs some further clarification or help in interpreting the data, who do they turn to?
They, there are people who can kind of manage, and a portion of our business, supports consumers who feel self-empowered and are techie enough to be able to handle some of this. And then about 50% of our business is with partners, where it's that personal trainer, the nutritionist, the physician that is, engaging with them on this journey. So we have, a series of physicians' offices that have a long-term weight management program, and so they insert our technology at a certain point in that program to help, teach a new thing for their patients, help engage them in a different way, really get a good sense of how their sleep is doing, how their activity is doing, along that journey. Because it's if you're trying to manage your health and obesity in particular, it's a three-pronged problem, right? It's nutrition, it's activity, and it's sleep. And so we help manage all three of those.
And I know trying to lose weight is probably one of the most popular goals out there. What makes your device different from the other devices that aim to do the same thing?
Sure. Good question. A couple things. Number one, we are a multi-sensor approach, and so everything else on the market today is a single sensor accelerometer, which we have also, but that has a lot of limitations. Number one, it doesn't personalize, the accuracy between you and I. You also lose a lot of context. So in terms of, energy expenditures. So if I happen to be walking around the block versus walking around the block hauling a 50-pound suitcase, my energy expenditure is very different. Or if you're lifting 50-pound weights versus drinking a cup of coffee, we can distinguish the difference in a single sensor, especially if it's clipped on your wrist or your waist. So there's a lot of inaccuracy, and we've proven that over the years in extensive clinical studies. Our product is the only product that's clinically validated. in terms of its accuracy relevant to gold label standards for energy expenditure. And then we also have 2 long-term outcome studies that talk about reductions in weight and improvement in health parameters over other interventions. And then we're also a Class 2 medical device. So interestingly enough, so there's a level of quality and science that our product is supported by.
Right, and I imagine that all the data that's feeding in from the patients you can also use to make your device better and more accurate and more tailored for patient needs.
Yeah, as we take more information in from a patient and understand the context of what they're doing, things might change over time. So our product, for instance, is used in drug trials because they want to understand how various drugs may impact people's lifestyle or their sleep habits, and so it's a very passive, convenient, yet accurate way that they can help understand those things.
Right, and what got you interested in this device, in this company?
I was running large Fortune 500 companies, businesses that they had, and I was really driven by this sense of self-empowerment as it relates to healthcare. I really believe that there's this convergence between technology, self-empowerment, and healthcare that is just really an interesting space to be in, and my previous position was kind of on the fringes of that. And got recruited by this company, and the more I learned about it, the more I really saw a huge opportunity and wanted to be part of the team to do that with Body Media.
Right. And what have patients said to you about it? How has it been working?
For us, it's reading people. You're going to talk to Mike Wilson, who is one of our hundreds and hundreds of thousands of users who've used our product, and it's the fact that we can deliver something to them, that impacts their life, that we can change their behavior, we can change their life. Mike, he'll talk to you, lost, I think, close to 80 pounds using our product, and we see that day in and day out. It's the honesty that people need, it's the accuracy that they need if they're really trying to lose weight. If they've got other health, sometimes it's tied to so many, other healthcare issues, whether it's, type 2 diabetics, heart issues, even sleep disorders, right? A portion of those patients, obesity is a problem. So we can touch so many different healthcare issues and allow a product that, both the physician can trust and is grounded in science and clinical validation, but yet is easy enough for the patient and the end user to embrace.
Right, and I can imagine that's a difficult combination to achieve. But
there's either the really high-end medical approach, that the doctor can embrace, but the patient, gets frustrated by, and then there's the pure consumer play, gadget or app that is good for a certain portion of the population, and I don't mean to, be disingenuous about that because it's a big problem, right? There's 2/3 of the adult population is overweight or obese in this country, and it's a huge problem. It's a huge market, and everybody's at different phases of trying to solve that problem for themselves. Some people just need to get up off the couch, and some people have tried those things and need something more, and that's kind of where we tend to play.
Right. Is there anything else that you would like to add or share with our audience?
I think probably just the notion that technology is here to stay as it relates to healthcare. There's a lot of both physicians and patients who feel that technology is scary. This thing collects 5,000 data points a minute. Where is it going? And so I think just making sure that the devices, the technology that you're using, whether you're a patient or a physician, that it's secure, it's private. Because if you fear that, then you're losing out on great opportunities to engage in technology, and that's really where the future of healthcare is going.